Hello YouTube, it's Thomas here and welcome back to another sketchbook tour. This is going to be my sketchbook tour of the 1-year foundation I did at the Royal Drawing School Foundation year, which is a course I will forever hype up because that 1 year was better than my whole fine art degree, and in terms of probably arts education, the best year I've had so far. So to give a little bit of context quickly just before we go into the sketchbook, this is a sketchbook I quite enjoy because it has a lot of kind of nice memories, because what we did every Friday was had an art history lecture, and then we basically went out into London, where obviously the foundation course is based, and went around like different galleries to do tasks and drawing and whatnot. And that was every single Friday. It was a day we all look forward to, and it was just a day out and about with an amazing art history tutor who used to be so passionate about the arts that even the boring kind of bits which you might not be particularly interested in regarding art history, she even made it sound kind of interesting. So let's get started. So I'm going to try to zoom in and out in this video as much as I can, but I've also tried to identify where my drawings came from, but this is the opening where we did a drawing with a continuous line. This is what it's labeled as, from, I think this is a Rubens. This looks like a Rubens painting, probably in the National Gallery where we started off. So we can see actually this small one is the same study, the same painting of the first composition. But yeah, so this task, I think we were just looking at complex composition and trying to just accurately really represent all of the, obviously Renaissance paintings are very, very complex when it comes to the figurative stuff. So we were just trying to do some decent studies of some of the works that interested us. So this was, yeah, another Rubens piece. So I'm pretty sure that this is the National Gallery. So this is an interesting couple of pages. This is a study of tone using mark making in one direction only. So you had to kind of study, generally speaking, tone. So look, you can see like a figure here. This one is a bit better, but this is clearly more than one direction. So here we have, this is probably another Rubens piece. So someone like punching a shield, some figure here. Clearly quite an abstract drawing, but looks all right, zoomed out on the camera here. So I'm pretty sure that this king dude, he was at, I think, the Victoria and Albert Museum. So I remember one time we went around and we had to draw the sculptures, and I can't remember. Yes. So the idea of that we were doing in the Victoria and Albert Museum was creating a narrative within artwork. So we were supposed to kind of study the statues, draw them, and then put the characters, I guess, building on the previous few weeks' task was like composition, put them in a composition together and build some kind of a narrative. I'm glad I did label some of these at least, because otherwise I would have no idea where they came from. But this one is, so this one here is The Witch's Sabbath in the British Museum. I think this is a study of a print. So these ones might also be British Museum, because this also looks kind of like a witchy kind of thing. This is clearly a Van Gogh study. So taking a look at one of Van Gogh's ink drawings was really inspiring for me. Really, was it? His intimate mark making was so fascinating to look at, and it created an amazing sense of depth and perspective. The fact that these works were from direct observation also interests me because it makes the artist think about the framing of the work beforehand. therefore thinking carefully about each stroke of the brush, creating a composition that works as an artwork. So I guess thinking about composition, how to create perspective, and a little bit of mark making. Unfortunately, I have no label for this landscape study, but it looks like it could be one of the National Galleries again, if I remember correctly. Now, moving on to the Tate, where we had to, first of all, our drawing task was, really we were looking at the space itself, so we weren't looking so much at the artwork, because a lot of the artwork in the Tate Modern is absolutely trash, in my opinion. Usually the paid exhibitions are really good, but a lot of the permanent collection is a load of bollocks, in my opinion. But you know what? The Tate Modern is a very nice space. As you can see, I've done kind of an architectural kind of sketch with people standing on the balcony. And I actually have a funny story. So you can see this task here, we're drawing people observing work. So we are actually, so there was a few of us in the Rothko room, you can see here, just all drawing kind of people and how they stand next to paintings, how they observe them, kind of paying close attention to the viewer and the artwork. But a few of us were in the Rothko room, and obviously it's a very quiet room, so there was only maybe a couple of people in there when we were there at the time. But it's kind of like a meditative room. I don't know if some of you should be aware of Rothko's work. He's that guy who has the big kind of colored panels that go for like 40 million now, or some ridiculous price like that. But we were drawing different people in this Rothko room, and there was some security guy kind of just outside the Rothko room, and he decided that he wasn't going to have any of it, and that we weren't allowed to draw people, apparently. So what ended up happening was he starts arguing with a few of us, saying you need to rub out your drawings of the public, and made, I think, one of the girls cry. And then our tutors came and took out whoosh, their paintbrushes and then attacked the security. No, that didn't happen. But in my head, that's how it happened. Basically, our tutors fought with the security guard. He went walking away with his tail in between his legs, and we got to keep our drawings. So that's my amazing story. Next up, I think this was in the White Cube. This was one of Anselm Kiefer's exhibitions. These drawings are a little bit more rough, but so are Anselm Kiefer's paintings. But once again, you can see that the tutors are also encouraging us to not only study the works, but study the scale and how people are observing the works. If I remember correctly, this might have been St. Paul's Cathedral, but you can see I channeled my inner 4-year-old, and I don't know what these drawings are or what the task was, but maybe it was we had to do it very, very quickly. At least this one here seems to be a little bit better. Okay, so if I remember correctly, these kinds of tasks here, I can't remember what the museum was, but we were working in graphite, if I remember correctly, making studies of like furniture design, and then we had to kind of try and design our own, I think. So I think this chair is like the combination of the mirror I studied and that chair. And then we have, okay, good. We've got a nice shot for this one. We have Alfred from Batman and Johnny Depp. Yeah, I have no idea what the references for these pieces are, but what we had was granite. I think it was granite that was like ground up, and then we smudged it all over the page. And the idea of this task was obviously looking at kind of drawing with a rubber, but then looking at dark tones as well. So you've got a mid-tone, and then that's just spread out kind of everywhere. And then you draw the highlights with the rubber, and then darken the shadows, obviously, with your graphite. So let's zoom in a little bit. Featuring Alfred from Batman and Johnny Depp. So I guess bear in mind, we always have kind of context before these, before we go out and do these drawings too. So we always have some kind of historical context before going out and actually studying the pieces, which kind of made it really rich, a really rich experience. So we have a nice decorative, it just says decorative, elderly, soft. So this might have been like draw something and describe it in 3 words, possibly. But this bad boy here, I'm pretty sure, you know what, let me quickly grab my phone. Hunterian Museum, which is like full of weird, funky, abnormal skeletons and medical related stuff / animals in jars and stuff. It's one of those quirky museums. Apparently I was in love with Mr. Peter Paul Rubens whenever I went to the National Gallery. This looks like another National Gallery task, except being given colored pencils now to add some color to the work, although I really don't like working in colored pencils, I'll have to admit that. Okay, so this is apparently a study of Hockney's iPad art, Haley Newman, You Blew My Mind. I'm not entirely sure where these were. Ooh, now we have Space at the Hayward Gallery. So this was, I think, a exhibition to do with space. As you can see, I have quite a decent sketch of a rocket drawn with a lot of straight lines. Kind of neat, I like this one. If anyone can tell me in the comments where this is, I feel like these, I don't know, this might be the Imperial War Museum. I think that might be the name. Imperial War Museum? Tell me in the comments if that's a place. I think this is where it is. Where can you find in London these iconic black pillars coming out of the, I don't know if that was a temporary thing, but, I remember now. So, actually I don't even know if it was this task, but there was a museum that we went to where they put like fake paintings next to the real ones, and you had to try and guess which is fake and which is real. So I don't think, this might not be the same thing, but it just reminded me of it. So this is a study of a drunk constable, and this is a Jacob something, but like the compositions are similar. That just reminded me that one of the tasks that we had one time. Oh, I quite like this study of whatever this is, a candle holder, I think. And there's just something sometimes you find in sketchbooks where there's no context, you have no idea why you drew it. This is one of those things, and it's upside down for some reason. I have no idea why they're in here, what they are. It looks like something out of like Spy Kids. Ooh, nice tree with a rocket as the trunk. Not entirely sure what the context for that was. I'm pretty sure we had some kind of commercial theme going on when it came to, I think this might have been still Imperial War Museum, I cannot remember. But clearly this rocket is sponsored by Starbucks, Virgin, Tesco, O2, Sky. Is this BT? Oh, and we have come to the end of my roll drawing gallery sketchbook. So it's kind of quite a nice throwback to think of the year that I did have. If you were in the roll drawing school for this unfortunate year, I am deeply sorry for you, because oh man, I would have hated to have been stuck and not been able to kind of do the course and be on campus and go out in the way that they do, because the teaching is such high quality there. And for any of you looking to do a foundation course, honestly, Royal Drawing School should be number one on your list. Not only do they have these outings every week, full-time teaching, full-time course, but towards the end of the year, you also have a trip to Scotland where you do plein air painting. And it's just an amazing all-round year. I learned so much in that year, more than my entire 3 years of my degree. Honestly, I'm not even over-exaggerating. This really set up the foundation of how I practice as an artist now, and was an amazing course. And my awkward hands will try and do my awkward goodbye now. So as usual, please comment any questions. Tell me which was your favorite drawing in the sketchbook. Was it Johnny Depp? Was it Alfred from Batman? And or DM me on Instagram if you're feeling a bit shy. But here is my awkward. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.